Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We do have some tournament action coming at you. It will be between Complexity's Heart and RGNFuture. We're going to go ahead and follow Heart here. This is now in the loser's bracket, unfortunately. But you know what? That does give everybody at least that second chance to come back in this matchup. And now Heart is going to be taking on Future. Future going to be our blue Protoss player, kicking it over here in the top right-hand corner. In the top left is Complexity's Heart. He is our red Terran here. I also like how he chooses red. It's my favorite color for people. I always choose yellow or orange personally, but I like to see guys that like to play as red. They just keep it standard, keep it simple, play as red, and it's a nice color. Really, it's easy to see, and it's the color of the blood of your opponent. Kind of keeps you focused on war and battle. So it is going to be a best of 3 here. Complexity Heart going to be working on a wall off right away. It looks like Future going to be chrono boosting out his economy. Always a good idea. Probably going to see standard openers here since it is a best of 3. Tends to be relatively safe play in a tournament setting, however. So I mean, that's just one of those things that we've come to notice. People tend to play safe, and these guys are so good. They don't really have much. They don't really have much need to get risky on their opponent. Don't need to take super high risks builds and try and get lucky. Looks like Future is going to go for a 15 Nexus. Wow. I disagree with this. I think 15 Nexus is way too greedy. But on this particular map, it is a back pocket expansion and does make it a little bit easier to hold on to. So we'll see if it's going to work out for him. But it does delay his gateways very, very much so. There goes his gateway just right now. 2 minutes and 42 seconds in is absolutely brutal. But look at this. Heart is actually going for a fast expansion as well, tossing his down just moments after Future put his down. So, wow, both these guys fast expanding. We do have Heart now putting down his barracks, and it's just about the same time here as his opponent's structures. So, it is what it is. Both these guys getting a little greedy economically early game, so I guess everything kind of evens out. So it's going to be some kind of macro game here, it appears. We'll see if anybody's going to get super aggressive early. Maybe that'll pay off, maybe it won't. Always one of those things. Looks like Future getting out the first scout. He is going to head into the correct direction, which is always a lucky deal. I'll tell you, man, like maps like Calm Before the Storm, and even this map is relatively big, Crevasses. It's pretty big. Scouting in the wrong direction can actually be pretty frustrating. Like all the way around the map, just to get there and it already be completely walled off, which actually is what happened here because it did scout late enough for the wall off to be complete. So, but he does see what's going on, sees the wall off, knows where his opponent is at this point, and Heart is currently working on his orbital command in great time. Back over here, Future pumping out some probes here, and he did get a little bit of a probe transfer once to get this base saturated ASAP. Going to keep some of the pressure off of his main. I like that play from him. Does have a cyber core complete, and he is going to start working, I would assume, on either some more probes. There we go. And there, that's what we want to see is warp gate technology. Looks to be in just fine shape. Does have a zealot out on the field. Nobody going to be beating on his door here quite yet. Heart does have a couple Marines, however, out on the field. These guys just kicking it for the time being. But 2 barracks going down here in the back of his main. I like it. As well as double gas. He's going to really beef up that gas. We're probably going to see some upgrades for his infantry, I'd say, coming out here. Bunker going down for Heart as well. I like that. Nice defensive posture from him thus far. Both of these guys actually playing a very economic style of game. It looks like Future now getting into a forward position. Got his pylon gone down. I love the placement there. He can warp in on the low ground, which is relatively close to the ramp. So easy access there. But does he have that warp gate technology even close? It's almost halfway done. Tossing down 2 more gateways and now a 5th gateway. So 5 gates right now out of Future. See how he's going to fare here, but it looks like he is going to gear up for an attack on the front gate of Heart, who does have that bunker completely full. Tossing down a couple tech labs here. He's going to have some Marauders out on the field, and that's really going to help his defensive posture. So Future's got to make this happen pretty quick. Warp gate technology is about to be done, so maybe we'll see him push after his first warp in. It may take him till his second. I'm not entirely sure. It's usually just a judgment call. I may even see him scout up to see whether or not he wants to go or wait for more warp ins. But so far so good. Heart does have now an engineering base, so maybe we can see some upgrades out of him in just a few moments. He does have those first couple Marauders now out on the field. Super helpful. Does see the bunker, does see the couple Marauders, and looks like he is going to go for the push here in just a few moments. Is he waiting for another warp in? It appears so. I don't blame him there. This is kind of a small force. He actually really needs 2 sentries so he can toss down double force fields. What he wants to do is toss down a force field here and a force field here to keep that bunker from being repaired, and or putting one of the force fields here and then force fielding these guys back a little bit if at all possible. But he is cruising forward, taking down the bunker very, very quickly. Is he going to have enough? There's a good force field. Going to keep these guys at bay. A couple more bunkers trying to go down here, but Heart looks to be holding on regardless of having the bunkers at the ready. Those Marauders so very strong at this point. 2 more bunkers, though, going to be complete. Future, going to have to be careful here. Taking out these rocks is actually not the best idea. I mean, it's okay. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this is always a good idea, especially if it doesn't cost him any units, but what he really wants to do is force field these guys off very, very well. And that's kind of a difficult position now with this being spread out between 2 of those bunkers. So as he is engaging up the ramp, these bunkers really going to have free reign. He can only focus down one of the bunkers at a time. And here goes a 3rd bunker. Brutal. Heart is really going to have a strong, strong defense, but here comes the rest of your forces from Future. Going to see some good force fields go down here, I assume. Bunker going down. There's some force fields. Look at that. He's forcing the engage here. Feels like he's got his opponent outclassed. He is going to be taking out quite a few, but man, those Marines and Marauders, the Marauders were getting very forceful. Now going to back out here. They were stimming forward, trying to take out as many as possible. But he does have these bunkers now at the ready, filling them up in great time, and Heart holding on, and he does now have a supply lead after those matchups. Nicely done. Command center going down for Heart. He is going to be securing that 3rd base. Future, in the meantime, just continuing to warp in. Looks like he wants to stay aggressive here. Don't blame him, but he's got to be careful. This many bunkers, this many Marauders is not a fun deal. He's going to try and skirt the bunkers completely, trying to take out the mobile side of the army, but not going to happen. Look at this. Heart cleaning this up in phenomenal style. And, man, that is just brutal. I think Future may have lost this game right here. He's starting to fall way behind on the supply count, nearly 30 supply differential here. It is not a good deal, which is, man, it's more than half of Future's supply there. Yuck. But 5 gates, now 6 is still pretty strong play. I mean, he is going to have to back out for the time being, and that is going to give Heart plenty of time now to beef up his production facilities. He does have a good bunch of barracks going down, as well as that 3rd base, so he's going to start flying this guy out here in just a few moments. And he did also get out some medevacs. He might even go for some drops. We'll see if that's going to be the case, but getting healed down on this army is absolutely crucial as well. Healing him up. 3rd base going down now for Future. Just barely. It is scouted there fairly quickly by Heart's Flying Factory of Death. Heart, though, moving forward with a pretty substantial force. He does have double medevacs in the mix there. Picking up some pretty nice upgrades. He's already got +1 infantry weapons out. Picking up +2. He is about to have +1 infantry armor complete in just a moment as well. Solid play from him. He does take out that forward pylon. Future is going to be putting himself on 3 base. We better check our units tab. 58 SCVs for Heart to 56 of Future. So Heart picking up a small lead here because he does have the mule advantage. Taking out those rocks, he is going to start moving forward. Looks like a basic ground push here from him. He's not going to go for any drops. At least we haven't seen any quite yet. So standard old push with medevacs. MMM is what you call that. And here he goes, Marine Marauder medevac. May even be able to take down this base, but this would be a nice engagement for him. Out in the open is where you want to be. We'll see if he's going to use any force fields. Yeah, pretty good force fields there, but there is a big gap, and Heart does kite right through that gap there fairly quickly, putting himself back into position, and look at that, and GG out of Future. Too much to deal with, apparently, and Heart taking it down. Great game. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. We'll head into game number 2 here in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We've got that tournament action now continuing. It will be on GSL's Daybreak. It is between RGNFuture and Complexity's Heart. It's a nice matchup there, but Future did endure a push in the end from Complexity Heart that he just did not feel prepared for, and maybe even gave a little bit of preemptive of a GG, but that's okay. Here it is, game 2. Future and down here in the bottom left-hand corner, it is going to be cross positions, which I guess I shouldn't say that because it's a two-player map. It's the only way it can be. It is GSL's Daybreak, but Complexity Heart up here in the top right as our Red Terran. You guys can hear my kids? Awesome. Looks like they're playing. Those boys, they're crazy. I am going to be attending MLG in Columbus, by the way, in March. So if anybody out there is going to be going to the Columbus MLG and wants to meet up, have some dinner or something with us, me and my family are going to be there, so we're going to have a good old-fashioned time. Do let me know. I want to try and meet as many people there as I possibly can, so if you're going, please let me know and give me a way to contact you or something like that, and I would love to say hi to you guys. So, but good standard openers here from Future thus far. He's chrono boosting like crazy, but a little extra chrono there, going without anybody to speed up. Scout currently for Future in Heart space. Does see what's going on, does see that barracks going down. It is just the one racks for the time being, as well as just now one gas going down shortly after the 2-minute mark. Great timing there. Does open himself up for all sorts of different plays. So this is my favorite gas timing for Terran at this point. It's 2 minutes. Boom. 2 minutes. I like it. Gateway is about to be complete. We do have that first gas up for Future. He's getting it saturated right away there. Probably going to see him follow this gateway up very quickly with a Cyber Core. There's your Cyber Core. Back over here on Heart Space, we do have an orbital command about to be complete, as well as now the first Marine going to be out on the field. He is going to be in good position here to take out the probe. Good. Oh, maybe not. Oh, he's not quite going to get the kill there. Lucky probe. He is going to Baliosis, escaping with his very life. Always a nice feeling. Always a nice feeling if you're a little probe forced to go scout your opponent's aggressive base. Good stuff, though. Looks like we do have another gas going down for Future, and his Cyber Core is about to be complete. So moving forward, he is going to be beefing up for some tech, I would assume, here in just a few moments. Does have his Zealot now out on the field. Chrono boosting an empty gateway. There we go. It's got a stalker coming out of it now. That's what we like to see. And a second base going down for Heart. He is going to take that expansion up in his main for now, fly it out later, which is good. It's definitely a safe play, and completing his wall off here, which is not a bad deal as well. He did grab out a reactor on this barracks and is pumping out Mass Marine at this point. Did stall mining of his gas for the time being, and he's really focused on just getting out an expansion, I guess, at this point. Picking up a little bit of a couple Marines for some defense. In the meantime, Future does have a Stalker and a Zealot out on the field, as well as a Pylon. Kind of in a funny position there, but that works. Gives him plenty of warp-in area. But no base from him quite yet, and it is 5 minutes in, so we'll see if he's going to go for that. But at this point, doesn't really look like it. He's grabbing out his robotics facility relatively early, taking it down after his first gateway there. And so that looks like it could be a 3-gate robo, a big push, which is not necessarily all in, but you've got to get damage done to be able to transition appropriately. So sometimes you can even take the game down. It just depends on your opponent's particular type of defensive strategy. But he's going to be chrono boosting out an Observer first, so he wants to get a good scout out. I have to assume that he's going to take an expand. Yep, there he goes. Taking the expand, I think, is the best play here for Future. So you don't really want to go for a one-base play at this particular stage of the game, especially since he is currently down 1 game. He's got to go 2-0 here to take down Heart. Second gas going down for Heart. He does have his orbital command over here complete, and probably going to start flying that guy out, taking another base. And look, he's going to put down a bunker here for defense. Smart deal. Nicely done. Now back over here, Future does have his Nexus 50% complete. He's got a couple units out on the field. He is going to be moving forward with his Observer, where did the Stalker go? Oh, but he's going to lose this pylon. That's kind of an ugly loss. Supply blocks him here for just a moment as well. So going to have to be rebuilding there. He does have one in production right now. So we'll be okay momentarily. There goes another. And he is about to have his Nexus up, which actually does give you some supply. So good old stuff there. Do have 3 gateways now have gone down. He's going to have that 3-gate robo coming out on 2 base. Good strong economic position, and a good bunch of warp ins will be out there ready. He needs to get those guys out. He's taking some kind of early losses here. There's his Stalker. It's just hiding over here. There we go. The Stalker is going to get into the mix. He's going to take out an SCV. Stalker didn't even get the kill. Poor guy. Did all that work and no kill. Nicely done. Heart does have that second base, though, up and running in a very big way already. And same thing here for Future, though. He did get some probes transferred over here right away. He does have now out his first Immortal, and he's currently grabbing his Robotics Bay. We're going to see some... Looks like they had a little pause there. Looks like we're going to see some Colossus coming out on the field here in just a few moments. Currently Chrono boosting out another Observer to help him maintain that map control. And he did see some movement here from Heart. Heart moving out across the field with pretty sizable force, actually. Good couple Marauders in there. For this stage in the game, I mean, it's a pretty decent amount. However, he is going to be going up against the Immortal. And the Immortal does a heck of a lot of damage to those Marauders. He rips through them pretty dang fast. So, wow, look at that. A preemptive force field. Just going to start force fielding that ramp right away. And it looks like Heart is going to cruise around the backside and just go up a ramp that's a little bit bigger. Heart at a force field, that is for sure. The Future definitely not behind here. I mean, he's in an okay position, but it will come down to Micro. But Heart backing out, and actually I kind of agree with this. He's starting to be outclassed there. There's only those 4 Marauders, and you just don't want to risk losing those too quickly, especially now that there's a Colossus out on the field. It's a good move to go ahead and back out here. Future going to be gearing up for his 3rd base. I like this. I like that from him. He does have a great army composition. Those get Colossus that early, super helpful. Just wants to make sure to have the right amount of support units underneath. You can't have too few. If you have too few, the Marine Marauders rip through them and then they just blast that, the Colossus to pieces. Here comes the push from Heart, maybe. Oh, Future's going to be pushing it. Great force fields here, going to trap half of that army. He's going to take those guys down fairly quickly while Heart does back out. Supply counts here are relatively even, however, and looks like Future going to go ahead and take out a factory. Should be able to get the snipe on this guy here pretty quick. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there is a tornado siren going off outside of my house right now. Yay! Tornado warning! That's always fun. But Future in great shape here. Complexity Heart, though, beefing up a little bit. He is going to be trying to take a small lead here in the supply count. 102, now 110 to 100. So he is trying to pick up a little bit of a lead. Future not going to be too far behind, however, and he is securing his 3rd base in great time. I like that he's putting down a bunch of cannons here. Tends to be a smart play. And at the 3rd, but not too soon because he is going to get a GG out of Future there. Nicely played, but wow, that was actually 2-0 between Complexity Heart and Future. So Complexity Heart showing a lot of strength there. Congrats to him. He will be moving on in this... Is it the loser's bracket? Yeah, it is the loser's bracket. So that's good. And unfortunately, that is the last game there for Future. Brutal stuff. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a nice evening. We will catch you guys later.